Hey guys, what's up? Tommy Oliver here for Rebel Pixels. I want to apologize for having been very quiet for over a month now. I was actually on vacation in Vancouver, Canada from the end of January until just yesterday, so making videos was kind of a crapshoot. Everything I needed was here at home. However, if you follow me basically anywhere else besides here on this YouTube channel, you've probably noticed I uploaded a new piece of art called Advocates of the Night. It's a bit of a mixed media piece. It's also conveniently available for purchase as a print or t-shirt. Hint hint, nudge nudge. Link in the description. Probably the most interesting thing about this piece is that I added a touch of motion graphics into the mix for a bit of extra pizzazz, and I've gotten a couple requests to explain how I did it. So I figured I'd throw together a quick video walking you through the process. If you guys like this and want more art-focused videos, definitely let me know. Let's get started. For the background of this piece, I decided to go with a simple 3D model instead of a hand-drawn background. I did this for a few reasons. First was that I find drawing backgrounds to be pretty boring, but modeling simple environments to be really fun. Second, and this kind of stems off point one, is that I find it faster to model something simple like this than it would be to draw it. I've never actually timed it though, so perhaps it just feels faster. But I'm not working on a deadline with this piece, so the feeling is all that really mattered. And finally, and most technically important in this particular project, is that a full 3D background will shift in perspective and help sell the illusion of depth much more effectively than a flat 2D image would. I use Blender for all of my 3D work. It's free and has more features than I know what to do with. I probably use less than 1% of what Blender is capable of. This model in particular is actually an insanely simple one to make, and even someone who's never done any 3D could throw this together pretty fast. All I did was create a plane, subdivide it a bunch of times, giving me a lot more vertices or points to work with, and then used proportional editing. I pulled a bunch of the points to form stalactites. Or are they stalagmites? I can never remember the difference. And that's literally all there is to it. I could have done more, but I knew the majority of the focus would be on the characters, and that most of the background would end up in shadow, so I kept it simple. Up next is bringing in the 2D images I made and compositing them into the 3D scene. While Blender does have a built-in compositor, I decided to do this the old-fashioned way and map the images to some simple 3D geometry as textures. I first added the plane for the Pokemon trainer and each Zubat, then mapped the drawings to each one. Now the most important part of making this effect work is variable depth. So some Zubats had to be pushed back further in space and some brought closer to the trainer, so when the camera moved, you would get the effect of depth. This took a bit of guessing and checking to get to the point where I really wanted it to be. The last thing to do is to add a texture for the environment itself. I found a simple free cartoon rock texture online and dumped it over the geometry. Normally you'd go in and add scenes to do a much more complex UV unwrap, so everything's more uniform, you have a bit more control over where the texture ends up, but again, most of this ended up in shadow, so I didn't sweat it too much. And then with a bit of light adjustment, we have our final image, ready to go and be plastered all over t-shirts, posters, cell phone casings, and more. If you like this image, feel free to check out my merch shop and grab it on something. All the money goes right back into this channel. Or into my stomach, because I need money for food so I can eat and stuff. Anyways, that's all for now. I'll be back to my regularly scheduled videos next week. Until next time, I'm Tommy Oliver, this is Rebel Pixels reminding you guys we might be indie, but that doesn't mean that we're alone. Catch you all in the next one.